First of all, thank you all for coming, and sorry for rushing you off from your wonderful, wonderful lunch, and sorry for those who are there online and didn't have the possibility to join us, but next time. I also would like to thank Cost Evaluation Committee that evaluated oral abstracts for letting me speak, because honestly, it's, let's say, my little bit sad story, because sexual medicine in Latvia is, when I started to prepare this meeting and called several people saying, what do you think about sexual medicine in Latvia? It doesn't exist. So I will try in this, hopefully 15 minutes, talk to explain where we are with sexual medicine, and maybe also to encourage you to come up with some proposals, possible assistance, collaboration, because as far as I remember, Cost Action is all about that. So yes, sexual medicine in Latvia. I will try to speak about history. That will take most of the time. We have history. And imagine, from 13th century to 21st century, it's quite a distance. Sexuality education, sexual health surveys. Those who were in Prague heard that part already, but not all were there. Existing policies and training of medical professionals and psychologists in sexual medicine, what's going on at this moment in Latvia. If you see the postcards on the slide, on the left side of the slide. So all are in couples. That's our traditions. Folk dances are in couples. Very few are just those ones that are separate. And yes, we go back for 13th century. And this is the so-called Latvian dainas, or Latviešu tautas dziesmas, that include, there are 10 big parts that are actually gathered by a distinguished person. We praise him a lot, Krišjāns Barons, in this cabinet that contains 220,000 four lines, short folk songs that of course are in Latvian, but go back to the 13th century. They are divided into 10 chapters, 10 parts, and one of them is called the so-called shameless or naughty or erotic or bawdy songs. And I know, I spoke with Czech people, Katerina, thank you for that information, and she said that in Czech tradition also they have so. So most probably many countries have. So, and this I can say that Latvia has been part of that group from long ago. And these songs were not available to the auditorium during the Soviet time. We couldn't have access to that. It's interesting also that when you go to Google and try to find some information about them in English, there are PhD works in US on these songs by Latvians who emigrated to US. But nothing really published more than the songs themselves in Latvian. So Midsummer is a highest moment in Latvia's folk year. Christmas is a little bit different. But Midsummer is like when all we go out into the bushes, not maybe my age group, but anyway, we go and we look for ferning flower. That topic I will cover a little bit later as well. And we, of course, we jump over the fire, and then we hope that our sexual health will be the best. So, as well as you see again in couples. So that was 13th century, and I'll jump over to, oh my God, some kind of till, let's say, 20th century. We were part of the Soviet Union. There was no sex in Soviet Union, as you know. So there was no sex, and of course nothing to do with sexual medicine if there's no sex. And in 1981, when Latvia was still part of the Soviet Union, the book on the left was published by Jānis Zālītis. That was called For Love. Mīlestība is love, and vārdā, in the name of love. That would be the correct translation, in the name of love. That book, in 3 months, was announced pornography, was taken off from everywhere. So actually, that's why you cannot find it nowadays that easily anywhere. And there were drawings of very, very famous artists that also explained different poses, different things about sexual medicine. But that was still a hidden agenda for many, but many liked to find that copy if they had that. And in 2009 even, not that much has changed, but a new version has been published again with very beautiful photos. And then there was another point that I wanted to take from the history, and that was in 1989, just to remind you that we regained our independence in 1991, and this was very interesting that sexual health is linked to Latvians' independence, because in 1989 we still had the Soviet Union. We still had the Soviet Union flag, but in this children's journal, Zīlīte, you can already see that it's not Austrian, it's Latvian flag there. As you see on the, here it is. So this is our Latvian independence flag on this children's journal with drawings and basics of sexuality education for children. And that was also criticized a lot, but also was praised a lot by many, already praised. So that was really different from what was it, because of course, as you know, stork brings children. I hope you all know. And then we go to 1993, we are independent, and in 1993, Latvia's family planning and sexual health medicine, where sexual health is that? That was established, but with assistance of International Planned Parenthood Federation. We are now member association of IPPF as well, and it works actively in the field of sexual and reproductive health and rights, both in Latvia and internationally. And here we come back to the ferning and to the midsummer night. During midsummer night, this ferning flower blossoms. According to our folklore, this blossom, if you see that, couples are going to bushes to look for that blossom. And if that flower is seen, you are prosperous for all your life, especially sexually. So I may invite you, hopefully COVID will be a little bit better than today. I can invite you to midsummer night. So maybe we have sexual health meeting on midsummer night and go all into those bushes. And maybe you are lucky and you'll find that flower. 93 and 94, side by side. 93, we had our Family Planning Association, Sexual Health Association established, and 94, well, at that time I was the president of association, and we already had a possibility to be in Cairo. I was in Cairo there, so where all those long, I remember very well that there was this comment, who would think that it was so annoying and boring to speak about sex for 2 weeks? So it was really difficult conference, and those who have been there, but that's another story. And program of action, of course, was approved. I want to emphasize that because this action, 1994, we were just independent, Cairo, discussions really helped us to go on further and to change our mind of thinking a little bit from the past to joining international environment with different surveys, health behavior school-age children survey. Latvia is part of that since 1993, and there is a question that's linked with sexual activity, and we are having this survey every 4 years. And in 1998, with the help of United Nations, we had the first national representative survey on reproductive health. Yes, reproductive, sexual health is not on the title, but yes, questions on sexual health are there. And especially focus on sexuality education, STIs, prevention of unintended pregnancy. So 98, still last century. Then we come into this century, and in 2002, Latvia had the first law related to sexual and reproductive health, but sexual is there. But in the title, there is nice word sexual. In the law, almost nothing is sexual, except very important sentence that person has the right to receive information from a medical professional, Johannes, do you hear that? From a medical professional on promotion and care of sexual and reproductive health. That's very linked to what we are doing in the working group number 3. STIs are there, but not a single word about sexual pleasure, sexuality education, that's not there. Reproductive health surveys were going on. From 98, we had several more. And last year, a new survey was planned and even started. It was started in April. So factors and habits influencing sexual health. For the first time in the survey, national representative, the word sexual comes in. So, however, it was not only started, but was on standby from October, and then at this moment looks like it is stopped. And not that big choice or possibility that it will start again. Health behavior school-age children survey is going on. So in last survey was 2017-18, and why I'm showing this, of course, Latvia is there with sexual debut, sexual intercourse, and percentage who have that sexual intercourse at the age of 15. But we have also a team that analyzes all data from health behavior school age survey into Latvian and promotes it to our policy makers. However, the sexuality part is not very much analyzed. And we see that the priority is not there. Sexuality education, does it exist in Latvia? If I need to say in one word, I would say no. So yes, Family Planning and Sexual Health Association does its work as much as they can. They try hard. And this is the publication on sexuality education in Europe and Central Asia. IPPF, together with BZGA, WHO Collaborating Center in Cologne, Germany, was making this overview. And Latvia was included there. But sexuality education really is only as an optional in schools and depend from the school administration, whether they would like to have that or not. And the quality of sexuality education also may be discussable. Policy document, a new policy document, I know that that's in Latvian, but it's very quick translation. It's public health policy, or almost that. From till 2027, there is not a single word about sexual health. So that's why I complimented Kirsten so much. That's why I really hope that there will be a possibility for her to come to Latvia, better times, and to convince our Ministry of Health, because this public health document is so important, and if sexual health is not there, you cannot really go further. So health or sexual health professional associations, we can't say that there's no. There are even 2 sexual health professional associations in Latvia. One is Latvian Society of Sexologists, with 6. We are 2 million, just to remind you. Latvia is 2 million It's not UK, for sure not the Netherlands, so 2 million. So 2 associations, so 1 association per million. Latvian Society of Sexologists have 6 certified sexologists and sexopathologists and even have a web page. Society of Hypnotherapists and Sexologists and Sex Pathologists are there, registered. No, I tried to communicate with them and try to get some information. It was almost impossible. Sexual health and rights in the curriculum of the undergraduate students in Riga Stradins University we are representing, both with Eva. It's everywhere and nowhere. It's small pieces in many places. As you see, in different courses, it's 9 departments and 44 courses where word sexual is mentioned. But there's no coordination, and that's maybe my task. With assistance with cost action members, it would be great to try to improve that. And here we go. For the first time this year, 2021, the residency has been approved on sexology and sexopathology in our university. 2 years residency for psychiatrists, neurologists, obstetricians, so as a second specialization, not as a first specialization, as a second session. And here are those weeks, what is included in that. Bravo! And application was there, nobody applied. Maybe it was not promoted enough. Maybe communication is something wrong. Or maybe there's no sex and no interest in Latvia. Difficult to say for me. And with this I say thank you very much.